गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं महागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ वृषभं च शनीनां विश्वरूपमदाभ्यं बृहस्पतिं वरेण्यम्। ॐ तद्विष्णोः परमं पदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूरयः दिवीव चक्षुराततम्। ॐ ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं ज्योतिर्ब्राह्माय नमः। And everybody say 3 times Hare Ramakrishna. Om Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna, Hare Ramakrishna. Okay, so we are in the 12th house, Seshu said. So page 233, chapter 24 in Santanam's version, page 233, verse number 133. The results of the 12th Lord being in the first 6 houses we will cover today. Vyayese lagna ge jato vyayasilo jano bhavet durbalah kapharogi cha dhana vidya vivarjyatah. Vyayese lagna ge jatah. If the 12th Lord is in Lagna, a person born like that, Vyayasilo jano bhavet. Such a person will be spendthrift. He will be spending money. Durbalaha, weak, physically weak. Kapharogi cha, kapharoga, means he has kapha, phlegmatic diseases. Dhana vidya vivarjitaha. Dhana vidya vivarjitaha. He has no wealth and no knowledge. Okay, let's parse each of them. Why is he a spendthrift? Yeah. The Lord's agenda is, what is the agenda of 12th Lord? Expenses and losing money, expenses, etc. He is in Lagna. Planets in Lagna, what do they control? The attitude of the person, the nature of the person. So somebody whose agenda is to make him spend is in the house that shows the nature of the person. So by nature he will be inclined to spend a lot. So he doesn't hesitate to spend money. Now Durbalaha, why is he weak? Right? Okay. 12th house is the house of hospitalization, so a Lord can give hospitalization, but he is not specifically saying hospitalization, he is in general weak. Lagna is the health and vitality of the person, basically, the essence of the person. 12th is loss of it. Loss and compromise in it. So the thing is, the planet's agenda is to give some loss in the overall health and status of the person, physical status of the person. So he can, because of that, he may not be healthy, may be weak. Kapharogi, why does he have kapha? Kapha related diseases. Kapha is basically water and earth, basically, earth and water elements. Basically a lot of phlegm, cold, this kind of things. And also a lot of water in the feet. These are watery diseases, basically. Just like Vata is windy diseases, these are watery complaints. And usually those people tend to be stout, very fat, etc. Why does he have Kapharoga? The 12th Lord is in Lagna. See, this is a totally different thing, but in general, kapha problems are given by kapha planets. Jupiter, Venus, these are and also full moon. Moon who is basically, if moon is a benefic, the closer moon is to being full, he is more phlegmatic, he gives more kapha. The closer he is to Amavasya, being empty, he is Vata. So Vata. Basically, Vata and Kapha are both cool. Only thing is Vata is dry and is air basically. Cool, dry, airy. That is Vata description. And Kapha description is solid, full, watery, filled with water and solid. That is the definition of Kapha. And Pitta is hot and irritable. Pitta is basically a combination of water and fire. That is Pitta. And in terms of planets and Ayurvedic doshas, Sun and Mars are clearly Pitta planets, Pitta dosha grahas. Sun, Mars and also Ketu. Sun, Mars, Ketu, they show Pitta dosha, Pitta problems. Saturn and Rahu are clearly Vata problems, air basically. And Moon, he can be Vata if he is empty. And Moon and he is full, as well as Jupiter and Venus are Kapha. And what about Mercury? He is the only one we left out, right? Mercury, he is Tridoshik. Yeah, it depends on where he is, who he is with. He is Tridoshik basically. He can cause all the three doshas. This is the standard definition. So what you see is, you see where the 8th house is, where the 8th lord is, where the Lagna is. Based on those, you basically draw various conclusions about the constitution of the person. For example, if you take my chart, my Lagna is in Virgo. Virgo is what kind of sign is it? It's an earthy sign, right? Virgo is an earthy sign. And where is the lord of Virgo? He is in Aries. Actually, yeah, all of you should know my chart by now. So I'm asking as though everybody knows. So Lagna Lord Mercury is in Aries, and Aries is a very powerful sign in the chart. It not only has Lagna Lord, it has the 8th Lord also, and also the 6th Lord of disease. So basically, Aries and Mars they play a dominant role. So there is some Pitta disturbance, but the disease giver Saturn, the 6th Lord, he is in the 8th house and he is a Vata planet. And 6th Lord Saturn is in the cusp of the 8th house. Okay, my Lagna is around 14 degrees and Saturn is around 15 degrees in Virgo. So other planets are away from the central point of the house, whereas he is in the center of the house. Moreover, he is the 6th Lord, not only he is in the 8th house. Moreover, the 8th house, the 6th house has Moon and Rahu. Moon is a Krishna Chaturdasi moon. Krishna Chaturdasi just left Chaturdasi and Chaturdasi came in the afternoon. So Krishna Chaturdasi meaning basically Amavasya. It's Vata. So moon is Vata Graha there, and he is with Rahu. And again Rahu is close to the cusp of the house. So and he owns the house along with Saturn. So even though there is a Martian influence and Aryan influence, some Pitta, the main problem will be Vata. So in my case, the main constitution is Vata as well as main problem is Vata. So I'm basically, usually Kapha people are really fat, very strong. If you see somebody with a strong Jupiter in Lagna or something like that, strong Venus in Lagna, usually they will have a good personality, and if at least they will have Kapha constitution. Not all Kapha people are fat, but the thing is Kapha people tend to easily put weight. Whereas Vata people, because of the strong air, strong movement, their metabolism is strong and whatever they take basically is digested and it goes out. So they tend to be, Vata people tend to be really thin and sometimes even very weak. And Pitta people, they are in between. They are neither too fat nor too thin, and also they are muscular. They are, because of the fire, they exercise a lot, they are into sports, etc. So you see, based on the planets influencing Lagna Lord as well as 6th and 8th Lord. Right? Tamas and Pitta have nothing to do with each other. Each of the doshas can be, there can be sattvic element to it, rather rajasic element to it, tamasic element to it. The gunas are different from the doshas. Basically, kapha dosha, when it is in right balance, it helps you. It helps you absorb various things, all the water and solid that you take. And pitta, basically, it is the fire inside you. It helps you digest whatever you have taken in. And vata helps move things around, all the nutrients that your body got around. So these elements are needed in the body. Forget sattva, rajas, tamas. These elements are needed for the sustenance of the body. But the thing is, when one element becomes too strong or too much, or it affects the Rogasthana, 6th house or 8th house, then there may be too much fire. So somebody with a strong pitta constitution may have too much fire. So what happens is, the food that you put in burns. You don't get enough energy from it. You are always hungry, but whatever you put inside, because the fire is so strong, the food, instead of being cooked properly inside, it burns. And burnt food doesn't give you enough energy, right? I'm speaking metaphorically, it doesn't really get burned. But the thing is, there's too much acid, too much digestive fluids in the body, and then they become rotten. They don't get used well. So the thing is, you have to take foods that keep the digestive fluids under check. Basically, reduce the amount of digestive fluids. Whereas a vata person, for example, he can take whatever food he takes, there won't be enough digestive fluid to digest it. So it may again get spoiled and it may result in problem. So he needs to take spices which will increase the digestive fluids, or at least don't eat too much at a time, eat a little bit, so that whatever little digestive juice you have in your stomach is sufficient. Whereas if a pitta person, he eats a lot of food, he eats a little bit. What happens is, once his body gets a taste of a little food, he will say, okay, I am getting food. It will produce huge amounts of digestive fluids, enzymes. Yeah, they have to eat more. If they eat less, what happens is, the rest of the juice, digestive juice, will be unused, and the person will get sick because of it. It will become gas, and he will get gastric trouble, all that stuff. So how much you eat, how frequently you eat, all these things are ideally decided based on your constitution, based on whether you are a pitta person or a kapha person or a vata person. So anyway, so let's come back to what Parasara said. Why 12th Lord in Lagna can give kapha roga? The natural 12th house of the zodiac is Pisces, and Pisces is basically ruled by Jupiter. So the thing is, the 12th Lord, he has something to do with the watery element. So from that point of view, there is a possibility that he will have kapha roga, but this is a very vague kind of result. Do not jump to conclusion just because 12th Lord is in Lagna that the person will be kapha oriented. He may not be, depending on what the planet is. But in general, you can look at the natural zodiac. For example, if you take the 5th house, for example, 5th house is owned by natural zodiac. 5th house is Sun. So 5th house is in general important for digestion, for digestive fire. Basically, it's an important sign for digestive fire. So the 5th Lord is an important planet for digestive fire. So if the 5th Lord is badly placed, suppose he's in Lagna with the 6th Lord or something, there can be pitta roga. But again, you can't be sure. It depends on exactly who the planet is. 5th Lord of the chart. Just like here we said 12th Lord in Lagna. 5th Lord represents the digestion. Similarly, 5th Lord represents the fire. Similarly, the 12th Lord represents the water. Because feet are one of the places where water is stored. If somebody has too much water in the body, one of the places where water is stored, natural place is lung, but if there is too much water, some of it is actually stored in the feet. That is why some people who are of kapha constitution, their feet are, if you press them, you see water, right? They become fat. So 12th house is basically one of the seats of the diffused water, extra water. Dhana Vidya Vivarjita. He has no money, no learning. Why is he Dhana Vivarjita? He spendthrift. Moreover, from the 12th house, from the second house of wealth as Lagna, the 11th Lord is in the 12th house. The Lord who is supposed to give profits is in the house of losses. So he is not really accumulating a lot of money. And like he said, he's a spendthrift. Why Vidya? Why doesn't he have knowledge? That is surprising. Does the result make sense with respect to 4th house or 5th house? 5th house, okay. What about 5th house? 8th Lord in 9th house, is it good? It's terrible. 9th house is fortune. 8th Lord is Arishta, problems. So 8th Lord in the 9th house will take away the fortune. With respect to 5th house, children, scholarship. So he is not blessed with respect to scholarship. So that is why he is saying he has no knowledge. For me, Lagna shows the basic intelligence, so that may also be lacking because 12th Lord is there. The next verse is Vyaye Sedhana Bhavasthe Shubhakarye Vyaya Sada Dharmikah Priyavadi Cha Gunasaukya Samanvitaha. Vyaye Sedhana Bhavasthe, if the 12th Lord is in the second house, Shubhakarye Vyaya Sada, there will be expenses on good causes. Dharmikah, he is dharmic, he is righteous. Priyavadi Cha, he speaks very nicely. Gunasaukya Samanvitaha. Guna Saukya Samanvitaha. Guna means good virtues, Saukya means happiness. He is happy, he is virtuous. Why? Dhanese, Vyayase Dharmavasthe. If the 12th Lord is in the second house, why is he doing expenses on good things? Right. So he will have expenses, but why is he in good things? Okay. In the 9th house of Dharma, he is 4th Lord in the 6th house. So what? Seventh Lord is in second house, so it is very good for accumulating money. So he has expenses, but he accumulates money. It results in accumulation of money. So could it be that the Shubhakarya is basically not necessarily good deeds or kind of building a temple or things like that, but could it mean that the expenses are basically good investments which result in more returns? Right? Is that possible? Does it make sense? Because the planet is auspicious from second house, he is 11th Lord in Lagna. So he makes the accumulation of money grow. So he makes the person accumulate a lot of money. At the same time, he makes the person spend money. So which means he is making the person spend money on good causes from the point of view of growing your money. For me? Because from the second house of accumulation of money, 11th Lord is in Lagna, which is a good placement. So even though this planet's agenda is to spend money, he ends up doing good to the second house. He ends up increasing the bank balance of the person. How is it possible? If the person is investing wisely, basically. So his expenses are mostly wise investments. Yeah. So Shubhakarya Vesara here means always investing in wise deeds. Doesn't have to be money, but whatever he spends basically will result in more resources available to him. Dharmikaha. Why is he dharmic? Why is he dharmic? Fourth Lord in 6th house from the 9th house of Dharma. Does it show a lot of Dharma? What is the agenda of the planet? 4th from 9th means direction. 4th is Sukha and direction of Dharma. So the thing is, he is not only, he is basically, the planet wants to find some direction to do the right thing. And he is in the 6th house. He is an Upajaya from Dharma. Apart from it, 6th house is the house of fighting. Dharma, like I think I said earlier once, Dharma is something, it's not enough if you say, oh, this is my duty. You have to fight for it. Dharma is something that you fight for. There are certain things that you don't fight for, but if at all there is one thing that is worth fighting for, it is the right, Dharma. It was for Dharma that Krishna told Arjuna to kill all his gurus, his brothers, his grandfather, so many great people, his sibling Karna. He told his brother basically, and his cousins Duryodhana, all these people, even his beloved guru Drona. So why did Krishna force Arjuna to kill so many people? And also so many millions of people lost their lives in that war. Why? It was basically for Dharma. So the thing is, Dharma, when Dharma is at stake, you have to fight for it. So from that point of view, second house is a key house for Dharma, because it is the sixth house from ninth house. It shows how you fight for Dharma. Planets in the second house will show how you fight for Dharma, in what way you will fight. So anyway, so this planet is in the house of Dharma Yuddha, and he is the lord of a quadrant, especially the direction, house of direction from Dharma. So whatever direction he has towards his Dharma, towards his right and wrong, righteousness, he will put it into action very boldly. Yes. Now that also gets studied, absolutely. Now Priyavadi, he is soft spoken. Why? Why is he soft spoken? Mitabhashi is one who doesn't speak much, kind of like you.
No, I thought it was other way.
I'm just kidding.
Second, being Mitabhashi rather than.
This is not Mitabhashi, this is Priyavadi, means soft spoken. He is like, you must do this, not like that. Okay, please do. No, it will be very useful if you do it like that basically. Humility. 12th house is the house of humility, giving up yourself. Planet owning the 12th house and planets in the 12th house are conducive to humility. So the planet whose agenda is humility is in the house of speech. So he will be very humble in his speech. So he will be very sweet. He will not be commanding and harsh. The next one is Guna Saukhya Samanvita. He has good virtues. Why does he have good virtues? Why does he have good virtues? Well, virtues can be seen from 5th house, Lagna, 9th house. But if you see from 9th house, we already explained. I think that is basically it. If you look from the 5th house, this planet is not really that special. So it is basically from the 9th house. So his virtues are basically led into Dharma and the ability to stand up for Dharma. The next one is Saukhya Samanvita. He is very happy. Why is he comfortable, happy? 4th house taking as Lagna. The 9th lord is in 11th house. Is it good or bad? Excellent. 9th lord in 11th house is brilliant. 9th lord in 10th, 9th lord in 9th, 9th lord in 11th, all the three are brilliant. So he is very happy. He will have a lot of conveyances, he will have a lot of cars, etc. Also. The next verse, 135. Jaye shesah jayajato bhratra saukhya vivarjitah bhavedanjajanadveshi swasharirasya poshakah. Jaye shesah jayajatah. If the 12th lord is in the 3rd house, a person born like that, bhratra saukhya vivarjitah. He is devoid of happiness from brothers, siblings. Bhavedanja janadveshi. He will hate other people. He will in general hate other people. Very self-centered. Swasharirasya poshakaha. He will promote his own body basically, well-being of his body. Very selfish and self-centered, bottom line. Now, why? Why these results? First thing is, no happiness from siblings. Well, 3rd house, the 12th lord of losses is in the 3rd house. So there is no happiness from 3rd house. Let me ask you one thing. If I take 3rd house as Lagna, 10th lord is in Lagna, that's not bad. So why are we saying this? No, it's not hard. It's a matter of reference. If you take 3rd house as reference, this is a good placement. 10th lord is. That is also true, but what I am saying is, I'm trying to make a distinction between taking Lagna as Lagna and third house as Lagna. When you take third house as Lagna, you see the fortune of siblings. So from that point of view, 10th Lord is in Lagna. So it is conducive to good career, etc. Career-oriented people. Career-oriented brothers may be possible. So it is not a bad combination for brothers. They will do well and they will be focused on their career, do well. But from Lagna, when you say relation with brother, you are not talking about the brother himself. You are talking about the native. So then you take Lagna as the Lagna. You don't take third house as Lagna. Now the Dusthana Lord is in the third house. So from the native's perspective, there is some problem with the siblings. They may be doing well, but he has a problem with it. He had to lose the relationship or something like that. Pardon me? It can be, yes, it can be a Kashi Vikrita Rajoga. It can give somebody who doesn't have a lot of initiative, but suddenly he gets somebody who is wavering, but suddenly gets a lot of initiative and gets things done. That kind of results are also possible. Bhaved anja janadveshi. He will hate other people. Why does he hate other people? Why does he hate other people? Others is 7th house, but in general hating, fighting, quarrels are from the 6th house. So take whichever is comfortable, convenient to you and tell me how it is justified. Good, very good, excellent. But 7th house is not just others. 7th house is also your attitude towards others also. If you take 6th house of enmity as Lagna, he is a 7th Lord in 9th house. Is he well placed or not? Superbly placed. 7th Lord, Kendra Lord in a trine. So it's a brilliant placement. So 6th house, this planet is very good for 6th house. Right? So this planet will give a lot of enemies. So basically, how will you get a lot of enemies? If you basically look at everybody as your enemy. So he has a tendency to look at the world as his enemies and make a lot of enemies. You have 12th Lord Mars or Ketu? Ketu, I see. Where is Mars? Okay. It's your own chart session. No, I certify that it doesn't apply to you. Yeah. Maybe Ketu is not a strong 12th Lord. Maybe Mars is a stronger 12th Lord. Or that is one possibility. The other possibility is maybe these are just some possibilities. 12th house also has so many other possible indications, right? To see, I mean, if you want to see the link with Dharma, you have to see who the 9th Lord is, what is the relationship, who is the Lagna Lord, what is the relationship. Without all those, just based on a formula, if you say, sometimes it works. We have seen examples also in the past, but it doesn't always work. This is general guidelines and hints for how to see things. So anyway, so this is why he hates other people. Swasarira se poshara. Why is he selfish? How can you say selfishness from this? Okay. Yeah. Why are you saying he is selfish, self-centered? Self-centered, egoistic, so many possible, you can interpret the word in different ways. It can mean egoistic, self-centered, selfish. Which variation would make sense in this combination? Okay, why is he egoistic? Third house is the house of the drive, the fire in the chart basically. It shows your initiative, your drive, your bravery, etc. And the planet in question is the planet whose agenda is to give you humility, to make you accept losses, etc. So that planet with that agenda, if he is placed in a house where he has to show a lot of fire and initiative, that humility may be gone. Right? Pardon me? Why?
Because once you
It's not Upadaya from 12th house, it's Upadaya from Lagna. It makes the Lagna grow, not the 12th house grow.
no, but 12th Lord is in the third house.
Yeah.
So for 12th Lord, the aspect
He makes the Lagna grow. Because it's a Upadaya from Lagna, he makes the 12th Lord will make the Lagna grow. 12th and Lagna have opposite agendas. Lagna is giving, 12th, Lagna is taking care of your body. 12th is giving up your bodily pleasure for other people. All those are shown by the 12th house. Now, the planet who if anybody works for 12th house, it is this planet who will work. But he is told to, he is put in an Upadaya from Lagna, not from 12th house, and he is told to increase the Lagna. So the thing is, the agenda, he is not placed in a place where his agenda will be honored. So his agenda may suffer basically. He may take care of his body, his own self well, with a lot of initiative. But the thing is, like I said, it doesn't necessarily show selfishness. Any other thoughts? Okay, we'll move to the next one. Jayeshe sukha bhavasthe matu sukha vivarjitah bhumiyana grahadinam hanistasya dine dine. If the 12th Lord is in the 4th house, Matru Sukham, the happiness from mother is devoid of that. Bhumiyana Gruhadinam, lands, vehicles and house. All those Hanihi Tasya Dine Dine. Every day, day by day, there will be loss of lands, house and vehicles. So basically he is unlucky with respect to those aspects. Now why? Jayese Sukhabhavasthe Matu Sukhavivarjitaha. First of all, just like Bhratu Sukhavivarjitaha last verse, here 12th Lord is in for mother it is not bad. From the 4th house as Lagna, 9th Lord in Lagna is good for mother's fortune. But from the point of view of the native, the 12th Lord afflicting 4th house means not much happiness from mother, not a great relation with mother. Similarly, 4th house also shows lands, real estate, house you live in, vehicles, etc. So there can be some loss or problem with respect to those also. This is the most straightforward verse. The next one is Yayeshe Sutta Bhavasthe Sutta Vidya Vivarjitah Putrarthe Cha Vyayastasya Tirthatanaparo Anaraha. Yayeshe Sutta Bhavasthe. If the 12th Lord is in the 5th house, Sutta Vidya Vivarjitah, he is devoid of children and learning, knowledge. Putrarthe Cha Vyayastasya, he will have expenses on account of children. Tirthatana Paronaraha, he will be going on pilgrimages. Okay, let's parse each of them. So if the 12th Lord is in the 5th house, again 5th house shows children as well as scholarship, so there will be problem with those. Makes sense. So the Vidya Vivarjitah makes sense. The next one, Putrarthe Cha Vyayastasya, he will spend money on children. Does it make sense? Well, 12th Lord shows expenses, and the planet being in the 5th house, it can be for children. Similarly, in the previous verse, you could have said expenses on mother. That is possible. Now, the last one, this is the tricky one. Tirthatana Paro Naraha. That person will be doing pilgrimages. Why? Okay. 12th house shows pilgrimages, but why in the 5th house? 5th house is the house of devotion, right? And Pura Punya, devotion and Pura Punya. And 12th house is the house of going long travels. And the planet whose agenda is to show long travels is in the house that shows Pura Punya. He is supposed to give the results of Pura Punya and also give devotion. So there is a good chance that he will. For me? Yeah, 9th from 9th. Yeah. With respect to 9th house of Dharma, 9th house is also religion. From that, the Lord, 4th Lord basically, 4th house is direction, he is in the 9th house. He is well placed basically for Dharma. But specifically for pilgrimage, you can say the 12th Lord being in the house of Pura Punya means you will have long journeys, but those are a result of your Pura Punya. What kind of results, what kind of journeys are given, long journeys as a result of Pura Punya, going to holy places. So he will visit holy places. Putrarthe Cha Vyayastasya. Not necessarily. That is how he has interpreted. He says visit shrines in order to beget a son. But that is not. I don't see that. Putrarthe cha vyayastasya tasya putrarthe cha vyayaha. For him, for children, expenses. Next one is that is for him. That is in the Shashti Bhakti. But here next two words are Naraha Tirthatana Paraha. This is in Prathama Bhakti. That person is Paraha means engaged, interested in, very engrossed in, interested in Tirthasanas. So for him there will be expenses regarding children, and the person is interested in Tirthasanas. You can't combine them. They are in different vibhaktis. It's actually illogical to combine them. He has combined them, and he said, as well as visit shrines in order to beget son. That's not true. What it is saying is he will spend on account of his children, maybe for their education, maybe whatever, maybe for marriage. He'll spend on children, and also he'll be interested in going to Tirthasana. That is what the verse is saying to me. Whereas Santanam has jumped to conclusion. Pardon me? Possible. It can be for anything relating to children, basically, because 12th Lord is in the 5th house. The next verse, the last one for today. Vyayeche ripubhavasthe jatah svajana vairakrit krodhi papi cha dukhi cha parajaya rato narah. Vyayeche ripubhavasthe. If the 12th Lord is in the 6th house, a person born like that, jatah, a person born like that, svajana vairakrit, he will make enmity with his own people. Who are his own people? His family, or his caste people, or his people of his group, community. We don't know. We'll figure out which one it could be. But he will make enmity with his own people. Maybe his friends. We'll see. Krodhi papi cha dukhi cha. Oh gosh, all bad things. He is angry. Papi, he is sinner. Dukhi. I hope none of you have it. Dukhi. He is sad. Parajaya rato rataha. Interested in the women of other people. Basically, all kinds of bad things have been told for this guy. Even though there is Vipet Rajoga. Bottom line is, Vipet Rajoga is not necessarily a great thing. Can be at the cost of somebody else. Okay. Vyayese ribhuvavasthe. Papi jatah svajana vairakut. Why does he make enmity with his own people? The 6th house of enmity has 7th Lord from it. The 6th house of enmity has 7th Lord from it. So, you can make enmity with friends also. And Krodhi, why is he angry? Well, 6th house in general is the house of weaknesses and fights, quarrels, etc. And the Lord of the house of humility being in that house, he will basically, just like 12th Lord in the 3rd house, like we said earlier, he is basically that trait of humility is gone, and he is more interested in 6th house matters, which are fighting with people. So if you are fighting with people, if your job is to make the person humble, but you are making him fight with people, there is good chance that the person has some anger problem. Bottom line is, he is somebody who fights a lot with people. Krodhi papi cha. Papi means sinner. Why is he a sinner? Well, 6th house is the house of sin. Because Lagna Lord also similar results would have been given if you see, go back. But in the case of 12th Lord should enable the person to get moksha. 12th Lord should enable the person to give himself up to other people, be compromising. If that planet is in a bad house where he has to fight, who will make the person humble? Yeah. Right? Very good, excellent, yeah. So he may be somebody who is actually putting dharma into action. Yeah. So there may be, yes, that contradictory result is also there. That is also possible. In a particular chart, the 12th Lord may be in the 6th house, and the person may be, he may be a dharmic person, he may not really be a sinner. So the thing is, 6th house is also the house of sin. But again, it's not just the house of sin, it's the house of fighting. In general, fighting is sinful, but it's not always. Sometimes fighting is noble. Right, you have a good point. Dukhi, sad. Why is he sad? For me, yeah, in general, if you have a lot of quarrels, if you have a lot of enemies, you are unlikely to be happy. In any case, take from the fourth house of happiness. How is this planet? Ninth lord in third house. Is it good or bad? It's actually not bad. So fourth house is not really that affected. But Lagna is affected. From Lagna, the planet is in Dusthana. And also fifth house, emotional stability. Yeah, from that fifth house, he is eighth lord aspecting eighth house. So it gives total break of emotional stability. So this planet is not really making the person emotionally balanced and happy. So when he says Dukhi, it is from that point of view, from the fifth house point of view. Parajaya Rato Naraha. He is interested in the women of other people. Why? Why is he interested in the women of other people? Why is he interested in the women of other people? And forget a women of other people. Basically, is he interested in blood pressure a lot? Is that the word? What? 12th is also the house of pleasures in bed. The lord of that house is aspecting the two from a Dusthana. From a Dusthana, the house of fights, quarrels, sins, etc. From that house, he is aspecting his own house. So he may be interested in bed pleasures and may be willing to commit a sin for that and fight for it. So it is possible. But again, this is also a Viparita Rajoga. This can also actually, all these results we have said may be invalid in a particular chart. So don't jump to conclusions. If you see 12th lord in the 6th house in any chart. Yes, with respect to the 9th house, this is a great placement. Even with respect to the 10th house, this is a good placement. So depending on the relationship with the 9th and 10th lords, this may actually be a blessing. So take it with a pinch of salt, like Seshu said a few minutes back. He always says something right, a little alliya. Can somebody turn it on if we need it, or we can manage with all the laptops we have? You guys decide and turn it on if you need. Which Jehora do you have, Andy? I'll turn it off. See the chart. Did we see it before?
Yes, last week.
Okay, we saw this chart in the last class. We'll see it again. The data is 1994 March 23, 11:22 a.m. Brooklyn, New York. The time zone is 5 hours west of GMT, EST, and the place is Brooklyn, New York. BROOKLYN. 75 degrees, 10 minutes, 15 seconds west. 42 degrees, 20 minutes, 39 seconds north. Okay. So what did we see earlier and what is left?
We are looking at the education aspect.
Okay.
We are looking at D24.
We are looking at education of this girl. What is the name? How should I save it?
Srinitha. SHINEETA.
Okay, Srinitha.
We did the D24 and we had issue because Lagna was changing in very few seconds. So we were thinking whether it was Lagna was Tula or
Yeah, 54 seconds earlier it will be Libra.
yeah,
So we are considering Libra and Scorpio. Okay.
and Scorpio.
Okay.
We had a question to see in one case he would be doing fine, in the other case how he should
Yeah.
be doing fine.
Yeah.
So we then
So she had some problem in the education in the last couple of years, right?
So we then said, so because of that, let's find out the detail and let's go with the Krishna chart. That's what we did.
Okay.
But the detail I talked to them is, she has been having problems from beginning.
From beginning.
From beginning, she is not interested. She wants to give up. She doesn't
From the beginning meaning very young age.
from earliest stage.
Okay. So okay, that's interesting.
She definitely had a lot of problems.
Very good, very good. What Dasha were we using? Vinchotri only?
Vimshotri.
Okay, Vinchotri Dasha.
Running with
So Mercury Dasha is running. So this lady, this girl has been having trouble with education. She's not interested in education for a long time. She wasn't into studies, and especially for the last few years it became more serious. Okay. So now from this, given this information, does Scorpio make more sense or Libra? Which makes more sense? The whole of Mercury Dasha hasn't been that good for education. But the thing is, apart from the fact that Mercury Dasha is running, in general, Siddhanta must be weak. Right? She is not really into studies, meaning Siddhanta must be weak.
Because fourth lord is in 8th house.
Yeah. Fourth lord is in 8th house. If you take this Siddhamsa, Scorpio Lagna, fourth lord would be in the 8th house, which is not good. But the fifth lord Jupiter is in the second house, very strong. Very strong Jupiter aspecting Saturn. Fifth lord aspecting fourth lord, a Raj Yoga. And Lagna having Lagna lord Mars, very strong Lagna.
That has to be good.
Lagna and fifth are very strong. So this does suggest there can be problems in Mercury Dasha or Saturn under Dasha, etc. But it doesn't really show overall weak education. Shows basically good chart, but maybe some temporary problems. Let's move it to Libra. Let's change it back by 1 minute. 54 I think is needed. We'll say 11:21 a.m. Now Tula is the Lagna. If this is the Lagna, how is the chart now? Lagna Lord Venus, even though he is in a trine, he is with Bhadra Lord and also he is combust. So Lagna Lord is combust. That is one point. The second part is how is the fourth and fifth Lord? Fourth and fifth Lord Saturn is in a trine. He is in 9th house. That is actually a good placement, right? So would you say with this chart having troubles with education makes sense? Which makes more sense? Jupiter is in Manakarka Sthana, and also he is aspecting Saturn. Saturn, who's basically in the who's the fourth and fifth lord Yokarka, is being aspected by a planet in Manakarka Sthana, an enemy, and also a Dusthana lord. Jupiter is a Dusthana lord. So Saturn Jupiter combination is no longer a Raj Yoga, but it is a Duryoga. Fourth and fifth lord. Fourth lord basically having third lord duty and sixth lord duty. So it's not really, Saturn is actually not that strong, that weak. Saturn is actually fine, right? But the influences on him are not that strong. Secondly, if you take the fifth house of overall scholarship, Saturn is not the only lord. Who is the stronger lord? Rahu. He is in 12th house. Is it good for material education? It's good for spiritual education because fifth lord is in the 8th from 5th. But is it good for material normal education? Not really. Fifth lord in 12th. 12th is the house of giving up. So with the fifth lord being in the 12th house, she will want to give up study. And the Maraka is strong. Mars is Maraka, second and seventh lord. He is very strong. And he is aspecting Saturn. Not only is Jupiter aspecting Saturn, Mars has a 8th aspect on Saturn. So there are bad influences on Saturn. Moreover, how is Aru Lagna? See, earlier Aru Lagna was in Cancer. Leo. The Scorpio Lagna, Aru Lagna would be in, Ketu would be the lord. It would be in Cancer. But now the Aru Lagna lord would be in the second house from 8, having Agada. But now look at the Aru Lagna. How is Aru Lagna? Because Aru Lagna is the basic material manifestation of our education. It is in Gemini, right? Swami? Lord of the Aru Lagna is in the 12th from it and also in the 8th from Lagna. So Lord of Aru Lagna is not well placed. And Aru Lagna itself has who? Saturn. Saturn in Aru Lagna gives what kind of image? Not a very positive image, right? It's the image of a slacker, of a lazy person. And also A6 and A7 are with Aru Lagna. A6 and A7 are in Aru Lagna, right?
She is seen as somebody who has always trouble.
A7 is dealing with other people, A6 is obstacles. So Aru Lagna being with A6 means there are a lot of obstacles in this area of life. So education has a lot of problems. Moreover, how is A4? A4 is formal education. From Aru Lagna, it is not in a Trina quadrant, it is in Dusthana. So from AL, A4 is in a Dusthana. So given all these things, it is possible that with this chart, the person is not that interested in scholarship, education. Right? Now the thing is, probably Rahu is dominating than Saturn. If Saturn can be made to dominate and if Saturn can be strengthened, it is possible to do okay in studies. That is one thinking. But let's see the dashas. What are the dashas running right now? What is the dasha running right now? Mercury dasha is running, right? So Jupiter Antardasha that was running in 2005 to 2007 is not at all good, because Jupiter is a papi in this chart. Even from Mercury he is a papi. He is in the 8th house. But the dasha running right now is Saturn. Is there hope in Saturn Antardasha? He is a Yokarka in a trine. So there is a chance. But the thing is, if you take Mercury as Lagna, Dasha Lord Mercury as Lagna, how is Saturn? Again he is Yokarka in the 2nd house. 2nd house is not good for Saturn, but at least he is a Yokarka. So taking the Lagna as well as Dasha Lord, Mercury as Lagna. So Saturn is 9th and 10th Lord Yokarka in the 2nd house. Not bad at all. So both the ways the Saturn Antardasha has some potential for recovery.
Because it involves an Arudha Lagna, Lord and Arudha Lagna, that 12-8 combination is there, but people would perceive it would still...
Yes, that is the problem. So from Arudha Lagna, this is the Dasha of Arudha Lagna Lord who is badly placed from Arudha Lagna. And this is Antardasha of 8th Lord from Arudha Lagna being in Arudha Lagna. 8th Lord basically a Marka from Arudha Lagna being in Arudha Lagna. So the thing is, she does not build a good image with respect to education in this Antardasha. But the thing is, from Lagna being Saturn being the another thing. Actually, look at A4 as Lagna to see the formal education. Formal education is A4. From A4, unfortunately, this is the Mahadasha of 8th Lord, who is in the 7th house, Maraka, and right, and this is the Antardasha of a planet in the 8th house. Whichever Lord he is in the 8th house. So basically, Dasha and Antardasha both are activating the 8th house from A4. 8th house from any Arudha is bad for that Arudha. So formal education may even stop in this period. This is a very crazy period. But the only hope we have is Saturn is a Yokarka from Lagna. So he may, and also from AL, he is also the 9th Lord. So he may resuscitate. So the thing is, Saturn and Mercury both need to be strengthened. Saturn and Mercury. They need to be propitiated, not strengthened but propitiated. And the best would be Saturn in a Mercurian sign as well as Mercury in Taurus. Best would be Vishnu. Venkateshwara or just Vishnu, Vishnu's name, or Venkateshwara. Venkateshwara is also perfect after Saturn. So Vishnu's avatara, especially Venkateshwara or Saturn, or just Vishnu's name. If you can read it or listen to it, that will be very good. How is the next dasha? See, the thing is, we are looking at short term. Education is a very long thing. How is the next dasha? Is it good for education? Ketu. Is Ketu showing good education? Not really. Ketu is a Maraka, he is in the 12th house. Right? So, it's not really that good. But, from A4, if you take A4 as Lagna, from formal education, he is Lagna Lord in 11th house. So, he can actually act as a catalyst in the formal education. Right? So, how do you balance both? From Lagna, he is Marka Lord, he is in the 12th house.
We mentioned one thing during the Krishna that education in a foreign language is
Right. That is the other thing. This Rahu and Ketu being in the 12th house need not show loss of education. It can show education in a foreign land. 12th house shows foreign things. 12th house in Siddhanta can show education in a foreign land. 12th house in Dashamsa can show work in a foreign land. So, this Ketu influence can show good education in a foreign land. Because from the A4, which is the actual material education, actual tangible education that she is receiving at a school or college, from that Ketu is very fine. He is Lagna Lord in 11th. He is very well placed. And that too Kanya is very good for him. It's a friendly sign. So, being in Lagna, being in the 12th from Lagna, it can be a faraway place. So, my recommendation would be send her away somewhere. If she is here, it will be very problematic for her. Send her away somewhere. She will need a year or so basically You see, 2010 is almost coming, so we are at the end of Saturn Antardasha. So the thing is, from next year onwards, Ketu can resuscitate her education.
Is there can we see D4 and basically say if she goes or not?
Yes, we can.
I mean, if there is a
But the thing is, we can't say she will go, but we can say there is a good chance she will go. That we can say. Okay. In the Chaturthamsya, Ketu is the 12th lord. He is the dispositor of Rahu. He is with the 7th lord Mercury. He is with the Badaka lord Mercury. Right? You see, all of you see all that? Right? Does he also have Argala on the 9th house? He has Argala on the 9th house. Ketu has, I mentioned earlier, Ketu's Argalas are reversed. So Ketu has Argala, 4th house Argala on Leo. He has Argala on the 9th house. He is the 12th lord. He is the dispositor of Rahu Karka. He is with Badaka lord. Very strong chance. Even in Mercury, actually Mercury being 7th lord and aspecting 12th house and being with the 12th lord, there was a chance of going abroad. But Ketu is even more clear. So Ketu Dasha, there is a good chance that she will go abroad. And it's a very good idea from the point of view of her education. Which grade is she in now? Okay. If it is possible at all to send her to India, even if it means losing a year or so in the transition, I think it's worth it, because I think that can resuscitate her education. She can discover her calling. So, one second, we'll come back to rings later, but now Mercury Saturn is almost done. We earlier said Venkateswara or Vishnu, but the thing is Mercury Saturn Antardasha is basically done. So should we suggest something else? Ketu Dasha is coming, so Ganesha. But Saturn is still important. Why? He is the 4th and 5th lord. He is Yokarka. He is the basic planet showing education in this chart. So you can't ignore him. So Saturn, Mercury, his Dasha is over, so he is not that important. When she comes to bachelor education, Mercury becomes important. But for now, Saturn is more important. So Saturn, so Venkateswara is still a good idea. Pray to Venkateswara. And then, if possible, Ganesha. There is a Vidyaganapati mantra. If you can get the Vidyaganapati mantra and do it, it will be very good. There are actually 2 or 3 different versions of Vidyaganapati mantra. Any Vidyaganapati mantra. You can search for it, and if you can't find it, I will try to give you. My wife has some PDF file or something. There is Ganapati mantra. Yeah, I should have it. Which mantra shastra? Mantra Mahodadi or Mantra Mahodadi very likely has it. Yeah. Also, if that doesn't have it, my wife made a long PDF with like 40-50 Ganapati mantras. Also, I have a series of books on Ganapati. When we were starting Homam, I was gifted a series of books on various pujas and homas to Ganapati. So that has like some hundreds of Ganapati mantras, different purposes, different Vidyakshas. So I can give you one Vidya Ganapati mantra. That will be very good for her. Vidya Ganapati mantra. Vidya Ganapati, because we are seeking education, not only that, but he is in Kanya. Kanya is a sign owned by Mercury, who is the Karka for education. So from that point of view also, Vidya Ganapati mantra is good. So from many angles, Vidya Ganapati mantra is an ideal mantra for her. And also pray to Venkateswara. So it can, with that, I think she can do better.
There is another problem. I want to know how to see that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Which you are asking.
Yeah.
This is like 15-16 minutes where I'm worried about.
Oops. Yeah.
The teenage girl problems in the US.
Okay.
How do we even see that? Is it what 9,000 aspect?
How come it didn't say in the history? Okay. How do you see teenage problems? How do you see it? Okay. What is teenage problem? Define it for me.
Teenage problem, they're falling in love with some boyfriend.
Is it just falling in love, or in general having emotional disturbances, unstable emotions?
They're all related.
It may not be just falling in love. It may be various things. But the bottom line is being emotionally unstable because of the new hormones.
Unstable with the kid or unstable with the parents?
For me, no. The person, the teen himself or herself, may have unstable emotions basically because of the change in the hormones in the body, etc.
In this case here, is it coming from the girl itself or coming from the parents?
Parents are
See,
worried about the girl. So
Parents are thinking that the girl is not well behaved because of the teenage.
But that's only speculative.
Yeah, he wants to see that speculation astrologically. So I'm saying,
You see the girl shot?
yeah, you should see in the girl's chart. You should see in the girl's chart to see if girl has any emotional disturbances.
If that is not there, then
If that is not there, you see in the father's chart to see if father is being overly critical, oversensitive.
we'll see the change chart.
But the thing is, I can say one thing. Basically, we are all beings of mind. Human beings are beings of mind, and mind is very easy to influence. And the more you see, you basically your ideas of right and wrong. This is acceptable. This is unacceptable. All these are formed based on what you see.
Right.
And here in the popular culture, they show basically teenager meaning a particular kind of stereotype they put on the TV. So even before you are a teenager, you see all those things being played out in front of you on the TV. So you think it will be natural for me to be like that. So it's basically subconsciously, even if you don't consciously think, subconsciously programmed your brain that you have to be like that. So there is a very good chance, even if chart doesn't show major problems, basically, like I said, Deshakala Patra. You have to look at the Deshakala Patra. So if the girl is growing up in US, there is a good chance that she will have some issues in the teenage. But let's see from the chart if it is regular or if it is really abnormal.
Do we see that in the
Yes. See, okay, what is a good chart to see? Tell me. Emotional stability. What is the chart? Okay, we'll start with Rasi. Basically, where do all those emotional problems come from? They are in the mind, right? They are in the mind. And which chart shows mental state? Mental happiness, unhappiness, mental stability. B30 is mental, yeah, B30 is also useful. It is basically disturbances in the mind. It is basically Papa Purusha working. But the mental peace, mental happiness is from Sukha, not D4. D16. Did you say? Yeah. D16, it's not just the chart of Vahanas, vehicles. It's the chart of your mental state of mind. Happiness. Fourth is Sukha. And 16 is 12 plus 4. It is the second harmonic. So it is mental. So D16 will show. It is basically, that is why it is also called Kalamsya. It is basically, moon has 16 kalas. Amavasya, Pratipada, Dvitiya, like that. If you go up to Purnima, it has 16 phases. Similarly, so 16 is associated with moon, basically different phases. Similarly, Shodhasamsa will show the phases. It is the 16th division of the chart. It shows the phase of your mind. Mind will be happy sometimes, unhappy sometimes. That is shown by D16. Even though we don't know exactly how to see it, first we will go with Rasi. Okay. So Dasha running right away is Mercury. How is Mercury? Does it show any emotional disturbances? Lagna Lord in 9th house, yeah. With Mars and Saturn. Saturn shows some depression, Mars shows some anger. Especially Saturn and Dasha is running right now. For me? Lagna Lord in 9th house shows I am my own boss attitude. Right? And that planet being with Saturn can show some depression, being with Mars can show some anger. Mars and Saturn both influencing Lagna Lord means there are contradictory influences. Sometimes she will be, Saturn is closer. Mars will sometimes make her aggressive, sometimes Saturn will make her withdrawn and dull, unhappy, depressed. And Saturn is closer to Mercury, and also right now Mercury Saturn is going on. So this is a period when she can be a little depressed, unhappy. So they have to handle with care. If they don't take enough care, she can be a little depressed. And also this is happening in the 8th house from Moon. This combination is in the 8th house from Moon. 8th house from Moon is mental disturbances, anxiety to the mind. Right? So there is something going on in her mind. She may be depressed and unhappy right now. She is unsure of what she wants. She is unhappy basically. It's a savior. Guru's fifth aspect is a savior. Now let us look at the Shodhasamsa chart. Shodhasamsa chart or Kalamsa chart will show the mental state, basically the happiness or unhappiness of the mind. Now in this chart, how is Mercury and Saturn? From Lagna, is Lagna reliable? From Lagna, very close. 6 seconds later it will change. But the thing is, 6 seconds later, the other one will also change. Right? We change it back, so we can be sure that this is right. So, from Kanya Lagna in Shodashamsa chart, Mercury and Saturn are in the 6th house. Is it good or bad? Lagna Lord in the 6th house with the 6th Lord and Badaka Lord. Bad placement. There is a Duryoga. Lagna Lord in the 6th with the 6th Lord. Duryoga. Moreover, there is a Parivartana between Mercury and Rahu. So, basically Lagna Lord and 6th Lord Parivartana. So, either way, neither is such a great yoga. Right? So, Rahu afflicting Lagna Lord in 6th house with Saturn, especially in a Saturn Antardasha. This is not at all good. Even Rahu Antardasha would have been bad for her happiness. So she is uneasy, she is not happy. The mind is not really fully happy, huh? Not focused. Now from Moon if you see, because Moon is the Karaka for mind, from Moon also Mercury is 9th Lord and also 6th Lord. So he is basically, Mercury has a link with the 6th house, one way or the other. And Saturn in the 2nd house from Moon is not a good placement for Saturn. Second from the Moon is basically the food for the mind. It is a very important house for Moon. For Moon, 2nd house is a very important house. Because mind is basically nothing. It's what you put in the mind. Mind is like an empty container. So the food that you put to the mind decides how happy or unhappy you are. So the 4th house and 2nd house are very important from Moon. 5th, 4th and 2nd. So 2nd house has this combination of Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter. The 3rd Lord, the 6th Lord and also 2nd Lord. It's not basically Lagna Lord Saturn from Chandralagna. Lagna Lord Saturn is with the 6th Lord Mercury. It is the same combination of Lagna Lord and 6th Lord between the same planets happening from Lagna as well as Moon Lagna. So either way there is a Duryoga. Lagna Lord, 6th Lord together is always internal struggle. So she is going some internal struggle. She can't express, she may be unable to express what is going on, but her mental state is not very peaceful, stable. She is mentally unstable. Whether it's because of teenage or something else, God knows. But she is not very stable right now. And let's ignore D30. D30 is basically the sins, evils, etc. So this is more serious stuff. Because of these instabilities, she may do some wrong things. Those can be seen from D30. So let's ignore D30. But let us. In any case, D30 also has Saturn and Mercury in Padakasthana. They are not well placed. They don't show. In other words, this unhappiness can even manifest as some disease. Basically, D30 shows the coming of the diseases because of some subconscious reasoning, subconscious roots. So this unhappiness that is in her mind, basically the problems in the Shodashamsa can even manifest as some kind of sickness because the D30 they are in the Padakasthana. So in any case, yeah, there is some problem, but again, soon Kedasha is going to start, and it's not really any more pleasant because in D16 Ketu is in the Lagna. In Rashi chart he is in the 12th house. He is the 6th Lord in 12th house, giving Vivek Rajoga. So it may be a little better compared to Mercury, Saturn, Antardasha. Kedasha may be a little better, but if she goes abroad, it will be much better. So my advice is, yes, there is some mental instability going on, and don't be too critical to her because she is very sensitive. Mercury Saturn combination makes her very depressed, and you don't want to accuse depressed people. Moon Saturn, but also Mercury Saturn. Moon is mind, Mercury is buddhi. So when Moon is afflicted by Saturn, your mind is depressed. When Mercury is afflicted by Saturn, your buddhi is basically thinking ability, analytical ability. That is basically depressed. You are unable to think clearly. You are not able to think. So it is equally bad. Mercury Saturn being together in Saturn or Rahu or Ketu being with either Moon or Mercury in Trimsamsa is a bad combination for psychological problems. So because of that, my feeling is, even though she may have some aggressive traits, they are only on the surface based on Mars. Internally she is actually depressed. It's not aggression that is her problem, it is depression. She has strong Vata right now, that is my feeling. Is she? Yeah. Lean and tall is a Vata indication. It is because Lagna Lord Mercury is with Saturn. He is very close to Saturn. Even though Mars is also there, he is very close to Saturn. That is why there is a Vata influence on her. So, And moreover, current Antardasha will increase the Vata. So there will be strong depression. Not strong, but there will be some depression. So it is a good idea not to be overly critical to her. Be kind and gentle. See, parents may be unhappy because they are from India and they are probably, usually people who come from India or other countries here, basically they were smart people, they did well in their studies or their profession and they came here. Basically the top certain percentage of other countries like China and India will come here. So those people will obviously expect their children to be in that level. So usually people who come from other countries and settle down here as immigrants, they put pressure on their children. They expect their children to be like that. But the thing is, who knows which horoscope shows what? I mean, somebody may have good genes, but some other genes may come. But the thing is, she is not a bad person. She is a dharmic person. She is a spiritual person. She will be, if not already. She will be a spiritual and dharmic person. She will do okay in life. There is nothing to really worry. The 10th house and 5th house have Parivartana. Exalted Venus and Jupiter have a Parivartana. She will do fine in life. Don't be harsh on her. She is going through a critical time. Don't be harsh on her. Be kind and gentle. Please give that message to parents. And then Ganesha, Vijaya Ganapati, Venkateshwara. Those two should be sufficient. Gemstones. Okay, what gemstone is good? Gemstones. No. Saturn, no. He is affecting Lagna Lord. Even though he is 9th Lord in 9, he is also in AC. He is 8th Lord also. It's very dicey. It may work out, but it's dicey. Don't give Neelam. Mercury is Lagna Lord. He is in a trine. He is fine. But the thing is, he is also afflicted by 6th Lord, 8th Lord. He is afflicted by 2 Dusthana Lords. So the thing is, he is not too happy. So if you put his gemstone, you are strengthening him. It may work out, but it's also a little risky. But that is fine. If you ask me, emerald is fine. What else can you suggest?
What do you need?
He needs. He asked me, so that's why we need.
The reason I asked for the gemstone is gemstone sometimes can, because the individual is not able to sit down and is not religious enough to do some prayers regularly.
Right.
And gemstone for such people can help in religious.
Now the thing is, Jupiter. He is 10th Lord in 5th house, showing good career, and 5th house is scholarship, and he is in Arul Lagna. He is aspecting Mercury, Lagna Lord. So Jupiter is a good planet, but in Siddhamsa he is a male. So he may give some good results, but he may actually not be so good for education. So again, Pushragam, the Pokhraj, I am not so happy recommending. What about Venus? Lagna Lord. He is combust. Not Lagna Lord. In Siddhamsa he is Lagna Lord. Right? In Rasi, he is actually combust, but not that. Actually, he is not combust. He is away from Sun in the Rasi. There is a lot of distance between them. So he is the 5th Lord. He is a benefic. For this Lagna, Venus is a benefic. He is exalted and he is giving Mahapurusha Yoga. There is a Mahapurusha Yoga in this chart. He is also Arul Lagna Lord, but not so well placed from Arul Lagna. But he is Arul Lagna Lord, showing the image and status of the lady. And he is the 12th Lord, showing going abroad, which we want her to do. And he is the 5th Lord, showing scholarship and basically emotional stability and all those things. He is a good planet, but he is not that strong. Despite exaltation, he is with an enemy, and he is a little weak. But in Siddhamsa also, he is Lagna Lord. If Lagna Lord is strengthened, education will prosper. But unfortunately, he is combust. He is with Bhadra Lord. So if you can make him strong, if you can make him fight Sun, he can actually make her shine in education.
That means you can use
Now, 1 second, let's check some other important key divisions. In Navamsa, he is not that good, but he is giving Viparita Rajoga. He is not that bad. 8th Lord in 12th. So, at least for the next few years, Venus is quite good. How about career? Yeah, in career also, Venus is again giving Viparita Rajoga. So, the thing is, it's not a long-term recommendation, but for the next few years, for the next 10 years also, diamond can be a good stone for her. Yeah, okay. Maybe it's not bad for Dashamsa and Navamsa also. He's at least giving Viparita Rajoga. We'll see that later, but for now at least, for kickstarting the education, and give her some status, some good image. Venus will be good. So diamond I would recommend more than any other stone. Diamond seems to be a good stone. So all the best to her and good luck. But I think Vidya Ganapati will be very, very important, so that things will, at least from next year, next summer, things will be in order. So Vidya Ganapati is very, very important. So don't, even if Saturn can be ignored, Venkateshwara can be ignored, Vidya Ganapati should not be ignored. Okay? So
One last question.
yes,
Recently we had the eclipse.
yeah,
One thing I noticed is the eclipse as per the Jehora count was like 7 to 10 p.m. on August 5th.
yeah.
But by then the Purnima is over and then
That's okay. Eclipse. No, Purnima is not over. Purnima was over during in the middle of that.
almost in the middle by around 8, 8:15 something.
Yeah, no, 9:30 or something like that. Yeah, but bottom line is that's okay. Eclipse need not happen on Purnima. It can happen on Krishna Pratipada. It can happen on Chaturdasi also. Eclipse can happen. Purnima and Amavasya are perfect, but especially this was a partial eclipse. This wasn't a full eclipse. It can happen one day this way or that way, because it depends on where Sun is, where Moon is, where Rahu and Ketu are. If Sun, Moon, Rahu and Ketu are everybody is perfectly aligned, then it's probably on perfect Purnima point. Another thing is, Purnima, entire Tithi is not really full moon. Moon will be fullest at the end of Purnima. At the beginning of Purnima, he is still 12 degrees away, right? So here, the end of Purnima, the perfect full moon was at what time? Around 9:30 or so, 9:30, around that time it happened.
9:30 p.m.
Yeah, on Wednesday. That was around 9 something, I forgot exact time. So that is when the exact full moon happened. So Grahana was around that basically. So it,
End of Purnima means beginning of Purnima.
yeah, beginning of Pajami. That is when moon is fullest. So this eclipse actually happened when moon was fullest. So this makes more sense. But what I am saying is, on another case, it may happen a half day this way or that way, depending on the longitudinal and latitudinal differences between Sun and Moon, Sun, Moon and Rahu. Yeah. Yeah. So far so good. So far nothing really happened, but this is not a very pleasant set of eclipses, especially the solar eclipse. So something may happen as a result of it. But the thing is, it doesn't have to happen next day. It can take 3-4 months, but this can trigger some important events in the world. Anything else? Good luck to the lady. In general, she is a spiritual person. Ketu is in the 12th house, Lagna Lord in the 9th house. Even though she is independent, she is righteous. So there are some good combinations. In the Vinshamsa also is not that bad. The 12th Lord is in the 8th house, Moon in Mangaraka Sthana. That is excellent. So this is somebody who has some spiritual potential. So be kind to her. Okay. Kantakaseni. People call 4th house and 10th house Saturn as Kantakaseni. Some people actually call Saturn in any Kendra from Moon. Yeah, transiting any Kendra from Moon as Kantakaseni. Some people specifically call 4th and 10th house. 4th Shani from Moon. Some people call from Lagna also. Some people call from Moon. Bottom line is Saturn transiting in the 4th house from either Moon or Lagna is bad for your mental peace, for your sense of peace. Similarly, Saturn transiting in the 10th house, either from Moon or Lagna, is bad for your career. It can slow down your career. So from that point of view, if your career is slowed down or if your direction is slowed down, direction in life, you feel like you are undirected, that is bad. So from that point of view, those two are bad transits. 4th and 10th. Those are called Kantakaseni.
And the remedy for that,
There are several remedies. Kantakaseni, some people they recommend Chamakam, Namakam, especially Chamakam. Some people recommend Hanuman Chalisa. And you can also pray to Saturn himself directly. You can do Senimantram, Sarno Devi Rabhishtaya, Samagnagni. So, and you can do Seni Ashtotram or Seni Stotram, Kona Senestiro Mandaha Stotra. You can do various prayers to Seni. Mhm. Oh, that is a terrible trance. That is, he is beating 10th from Aruda, she said. So it's not good for material status, like work-wise. 4th from Moon, that is mental peace is gone. Lagna, body, he can give bodily harm also. So all the three are attacked. So that will be a very bad transfer. So it's a good idea to do some prayer. Chanting Rudram is a great idea. Chanting Rudram, Mrutyunjay mantra. Regularly chant Mrutyunjay mantra. Add Om Jum Saha at the beginning and Saha Jum Om at the end. Chant the Mrutyunjay mantra regularly. That is a good idea. Any other questions? Okay. With that we end the class today. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.